Greg, how pleased have you been with Kawhi Leonard and the fact that he's doing this in a playoff series and he's doing it as a rookie?
Kawhi is someone who, I guess it's fair to say, surprised us, because you don't really know when you draft someone. You do your best job to research it, and when that player comes in, that's when you really learn about him. And in Kawhi's case, he's absorbed information really well. He performs his role. He plays D and he rebounds, he runs the floor, and he's got a way about him where he's not so anxious to show us that he's got every move in the world, or I'm really good on offense, you should go to me more. He's level-headed and takes things when they come, which is great because he blends in with everybody else, and like I said, just plays his role. But a lot of rookies can't do that, and he's been really good at it.
Bob, you didn't get to see a lot of Danny Green last year, but you could sense that he could play in the system on his team, and confidence. What was it about him that convinced you that he could do this?
Well, he came into training camp and he played great. He was aggressive, he was physical, he was determined, and some of that had been lacking in the past, where he was maybe a little bit lackadaisical. And he's gone through some tough times or some situations where he's been cut a couple times with us, and he's been around. And this time, it clicked for him. Coach Williams did a good job of helping him understand, and a good example of a college coach sticking with a player well beyond the college days and trying to help him be successful. And I think that his respect for Coach Williams was such that he just kept hammering away, and he came back to us, as I said, very aggressive.
Pop, was this a game that you set the tone early with your defense and the aggression of your on defense?
Well, I thought we came out aggressively, as you mentioned, but it's still a basketball game, and we had a good night, they had a poor night. I think they shot 23% in the first half, or close to that. That's probably not going to get it done for anybody. So this was just a matter of them having a bad night in that regard. And it happens to all of us. We shot it better than that, and it was enough to make the game what you saw. But it's a lot about whether the ball goes in the hole or not, and they just had a tough night.
Tonight, it seemed like the starters came out more aggressive than normal, because a lot of times you get a lot more scoring from your bench, and tonight the starters came out more aggressive in the first half. Do you think that triggered something for the rest of the game?
I don't know how to judge whether the starters were more aggressive than usual or not. I just don't understand how to do that. But we made shots. We came out, we made shots, and they couldn't throw it in the ocean. And as I said, it happens to all of us, and it happened to them tonight.
You talked about the missed shots, but defensively, what's working for you guys against Al Jefferson? He's missing shots he'd normally make, but it seems like you guys are fronting him, doubling at times. He just doesn't look very comfortable out there.
Well, we're trying to do the best job we can on a guy who's very difficult to guard. He's one of those herky-jerky guys that he gets you off your feet is what he does, and he shoots a mid-range jumper pretty well. And I just think he had a bad night. It's not because we came up with some new defense or we were fantastic on defense. We have to be very careful about that. It's nothing to be satisfied about. When we get up to Utah, the balls will fall for them. So we'll have to play a lot better.
Hop, on TV tonight, they showed an exchange with you and Tony right, I guess, at the end of the third quarter, where you had to do some convincing to get him out of the game. Just what does that say about Tony, the fact that he wants to stay in there and play at all times like that?
Well, you don't want to lose your conditioning, and I don't want to get him hurt. So when you have a game like this, it's always a struggle between keeping someone in shape and not letting him get hurt. And we all go through it. And he wanted to get he wanted to get the whole quarter, but we compromised, and I gave him 2 more minutes. But he's been special for us all year, obviously, and we've got to keep him ready to go. And that doesn't mean, sit him and put him in a bubble. He's still got to play to some degree.
Greg, as good as this was, as a team, you guys have to remind yourselves, and I know it's obvious, but game 3 that's kind of the series changer, and it'll be on the road, and the 30-point plus victory, and that goes out the window as soon as you play it.
We don't look at what game it is. The first game's pretty important, and the second game's important, and so on and so forth. You just can't think that way. You want to play as well as you can every night, and you win or you lose, and then you worry about the next game. Let it go. And we won't take any great satisfaction from this game because we know that they had a poor night, and that's not going to happen very often.